All right, welcome everyone. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you please type the number 1 in the chat box, let me know that you can. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, morning, Helen. Thank you very much. All right, I very much appreciate everybody. So I know no camera today. I am a bit under the weather. Probably should not be doing this today, but my throat is still bothering me from last week. We canceled one event. We rescheduled it for Wednesday for the last Fibonacci training, but all right, so as we jump in, keep in mind everything we look at is for education. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. If you find something you like, anything, make sure it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance. All right, so we've got, here's our agenda for today. We're going to just dive right in. So here's our follow us page. Make sure you follow the various social platforms we've got going out there. And then take a look at today's trade. So what trades did y'all do today? Drop them in. Let me see what you did. Excuse me, Trip, how is your Hakanashi scalp doing? So while you guys are mustering up the courage to enter it in, let me go ahead and show you Amazon today was a great little setup. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit on it. Right, we're in a neutral bias. We closed yesterday at a rank of 2, or Friday at a rank of 2, which was great. Clear path to the next fib line. Wonderful. We gapped down, retest, and failed. How did the retest go? So we gapped down, we retested, and we failed right in here. This is just pennies above here. We failed that little pushback higher. So the trade was taken in here. That little pushback higher did not stop us out. We needed to be somewhere up about here to be stopped out. So overall, not a bad setup whatsoever on Amazon. So I like it. CrowdStrike was a little more of an aggressive trade. This was just taken as just that, a very small position. Oh, so we got taken out of the trade already. That's good. I haven't looked at this in about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but we got a gap down and a stretch back up. So our stretch back up took us to, well, let's go over to a 5-minute candle. Right, so you can see where we pushed back up to here, right? We closed right there and failed. Let's go look at a 1-minute candle. All right, so this fib line right here is at 345, call it 346, right? And our close, our high here, well, actually our close, yeah, our close on this was 344.5, so we're at 346, so about $1.50. We did a little bit better here. We closed on this one at 345.02. So 345 versus 346, so within $1, and we failed off here, and that was the entry there, was off of this candle, you know, as that fail. But I would have liked it just a little bit closer, a little bit, un poco, just a small amount. We didn't quite get there. So we took a small trade on it. We dealt with it for a little bit, and then 336, we would have been about $2 off of this level is our exit, so about 338. Is our exit. We're in this trade 344 down to 338. So $6 move on the stock, $4 on the option. Overall, not a horrible thing, but it was just one contract. So very small setup there. And we're going to talk a little bit about things like this today in our training topic. Trip said 23.6% on IWM today and 40.8% on Micron MU today. Nice, really nice. It's excellent. Jennifer, Rob, oh, okay. Sorry to hear for the loss of your dog. It's going to take some time, without a doubt. It definitely is. Gets a little better every day, but yeah, it's different. But I appreciate it, Jennifer. Thank you so much for that. All right, let's take us back over here. All right, so not a lot of trades out there. Let's go look at economic reports. Forex Factory is my guy, or my place, right? So nothing happening today. CPI, I'm sorry, PPI tomorrow, CPI on Wednesday. Thursday, we've got retail sales and unemployment. So nothing really crazy this week at all, right? Keeping in mind that we've got a holiday coming up, folks. What is the date? Look, we just sent it out to everybody today, internal. So Martin Luther King is on the 20th. The market is closed. So in observance of the holiday, we will be closed as well. So that means Power Hour will be on a Tuesday. That'll be on the 21st. Thanks, Trip. I appreciate it. That'll be on the 21st. But we are closed. The office is closed on the 20th. All right. Okay, let's put that down. And market review. Let's do just that. Let's go take a look at the market. So I really want to look at this from a little bit bigger picture view. All right, let's look at the entire fib first so you can see that. Okay, we're going to zoom in. And let's talk about what we have drawn here. What's happened? I'm going to get rid of the crosshair. I don't have my drawing tools open. Give me a second to get those. But we had this nice blue zone taking place in there. It was just wonderful, right? Great pattern going on there, waiting for the next leg up. Big fail. Stretched down, we bounced. Now, we didn't quite get back. This was our previous swing high. We didn't quite get back there. So we had a lower high, right? And of course, we had a lower low than what we had put in. We moved back up into that 60-50 level, and then we failed. And we put in ever so slightly a lower low. So I drew a rectangle, a blue zone, in here from the 58.09 up to the 58.32, I think it is. Yeah, 58.32 or so to this swing low we had there, right? And we pierced down into it just ever so gingerly, a week and a half ago. We ran back up, and lo and behold, we did it again. We put in a lower high. Hey, Andres, good morning. We put in a lower high. And then Friday was just a plummeting day. We just crashed down. I don't remember the numbers. Let's see. Friday, we were down 91 points, right? 91 points on Friday. And today we gapped down. And the important thing here was we gapped through this blue zone now, which is a little bit concerning that we did, right? Because once we gave way here, what's holding us back? Yes, we've got each fib line to contend with. We've already broken down quite a bit. So we're looking at that 57.66. And maybe it's a bounce point for us. It's very possible. Maybe it's a bounce point. Excuse me. We did get a little recovery today, but that doesn't mean anything since it was such a big gap down, and we've been down 4 out of the last 5 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 4 out of the last 5 days. We've been down. The only day we were up 2 days ago, Thursday, it wasn't up by much. We had a very small candle, bodied candle in there that day. So we were up a little bit and then gapped right into it again with that push down. Tom said, what does the blue zone represent again? So blue zone would normally, Tom, represent the difference of a fib line and a 100-point level. Like you've got this very small blue zone right there, right? That's a blue zone. These blue rectangles are just areas of contention. It's just a dreaded box of neutrality is what I call it, right? Where we just have a small little almost channel-like pattern. We're moving between the top and the bottom of the box-ish, right? The one I drew down here, Tom, was because we had that swing low on this day, and we had this 58.22, which was a fibit, and then we had this 58.09 level, which is the ABC pattern. All of those aligned. So I just drew one big rectangle in there, and what we're looking for is we're not looking at a definitive point support. We're looking at a zone, in this case, below support, right? It could be above resistance also, but a zone below our support area as a place, is it going to hold there or go through? So right now we broke through. So now we're looking at it as the zone is above our head. and it's a resistance zone, right? So we may stretch up into that blue zone a little bit, but it's harder to get through. We've got 3 lines in there. The ABC pattern, the Fibit, and the recent swing low, all within a 10-ish point. 5808, 5822, 8 to 22. No, it's 8 to 32. 18, 28. So 25 points or so inside of that zone. Does that make sense, Tom? Hey, Brenda. Glad you made it. Thank you for that, Brenda. Good, Tom. All right, excellent. All right, so now we've broken down. We are in a bearish bias, not true bearish. True bearish would mean the 8 would be on the bottom, moving average, pink. The green would be in the middle, and the brown would be on top. But we do have the 8 as the lowest one, which tells me I'm fine to take an aggressive trade. For me, if we're looking at a pop rule, 10 contracts is a standard trade, 4 contracts is aggressive. If the 8 was not the lowest one and you wanted to take a bearish trade, you might want to take one, a super ultra aggressive trade, right? Where you're still getting in the trade, but you're doing so at some risk, so you're doing a very small amount of contracts. Excuse me. So we're looking at 57.66 as support, and 5,700, we'll call it close enough, as our next level of support. On the upside, the 5809, and that entire blue zone. So right now, for me to be bullish, just getting above this blue zone doesn't do it, because I still have the 8 above my head. Even just getting above the 21 doesn't do it. We had a lower high here. We need to break that high. Oh, but Rob, if I wait that long, I may miss out on the trade. You might. So could you go ahead and do 1 or 2 contracts? If you felt, all right, I want to get in something, whatever it is, I'm going to get in this because I like the pattern. I like what the S&P is doing. We moved up. We got above the 8. We got above the 21, but we didn't get above the high. Can I go for it? It's your money. We're all adults. You decide what it is that you want to do, right? As far as how you want that trade to set up for you. For me, I want to see it get back above the this swing high here, but ultimately I need it above this one, right? Because this was really the falling apart point. We broke down. We came back to here. That is the area that traders are looking at right now, saying, "Are we going to break through this or not?" Because I'm betting my entire trade on that level, right? So, and because again, that was the primer. That's where it all started, was right there. We pushed back up to try to get for a higher high and could not, and failed, right? But this high is a lot different than this high was. So we're just in a rectangle here. There's nothing here. And even at, we had a high, lower high, lower high. Top of the rectangle was not holding the same way as it had in the past. Jennifer said, what about the high on that black candle? Yeah, that so I'm not rating it on a candle, it's a pattern. And this black candle, ironically, fit inside of here, Jennifer, if that makes sense, right? So it's really not the high, we're still within there. We would want to, for me to get this, I needed to move down, come back up and fail. That gives me another swing high, a lower swing high. I'm going to move this back where it was because I don't agree with it being there, but over this big candle. But we're not looking at it that way. Jennifer, does that make I'm sorry, Brenda, does that make sense? Excellent, good. All right. So we're looking at 57.66 and 59.97 are the downside targets. On the upside, it's the blue zone, so that 58.09, 58.32, somewhere in there, but up to the 58.78 is where I see us going to on this. You keep seeing people say this is a flag pattern, which they think will be bullish. What do you think? So you've got to look at what that pattern really represents. Flag, you usually have a pole, and flag does this. Flag doesn't fly straight out. Right? That's the way the flag will wave in the wind. Right? If they are referencing this as the flagpole, I don't see it because we'd have the flag dragging on the ground. Um, right? So, and this, when you look at a flagpole, I'm really looking at something that's moved like that, fast. For me, I don't look at this here and say, oh, that's a flagpole. And then this here was the flag. Yeah, not really, right? To me. So, and again, each person has their own analysis, but it's not my way of looking at it. I've got a very particular way. And again, if I go off of just this, the flag is now dragging on the floor, right? But again, listen, that doesn't mean there aren't other ways of looking at it. For me, my trigger on this would not be that, right? I am looking for, once again, flagpole. Flags don't fly like this. They don't just go straight out, right? In an ideal world, that flag kind of flies like this, right? It's got a little bit downward trajectory to it, and then you look at the possible bounce. Yeah, more like a channel, and we do have that in here. I mean, to some extent, we have maybe a descending triangle going on there, but we're a ways off, and we've already violated the support line, so nowhere near where we should either. So, but valid point, Brenda. Valid point. Why are we moving there? Okay. Bueno. Good. Good. So overall, we're in a bearish bias. Not true bear, but nothing here that says get ready for the bull. Now, listen, at some point we're going to bounce. Is it now? Is it next month? Is it next year? I don't know when. Okay. I'm going to play the market at hand or trade the market at hand. I'm going to analyze the market at hand only. I am never going to put my own personal opinions or thoughts into what's going to happen tomorrow or today's trading day. I'm never going to do that. I'm always going to do my best to remain objective based on what I see. And if my analysis, for me, the first thing I look at is the market, the S&P. I'll look at the VIX, although I've said it over and over again, I don't put as much emphasis on it. Just want to see where it is. Really, it just helps me more today with how expensive our options going to be. They're a little more expensive than they were a week ago, but not crazy. We're in a average zone here of 18 to 29, right? Is what we're looking at, that green zone. Right. And then I would look at an individual stock. So the S&P, the VIX, and my stock. Now, that instead of the S&P or along with the S&P, you might be looking at the NASDAQ. You might be focused on the NASDAQ. If you're a very tech-heavy trader, you may want to know what the NASDAQ is doing, which could become very critical. And apparently there's some absolute trash talk going on about Apple from Zuckerberg. And Joe Rogan, I heard, was just thrashing him. And that's where Zuckerberg was on Joe Rogan's show, was just trashing him, Apple, on their 5% loss of market share. They're not putting out new products and the likes, right? So if you're tech, you may want to focus on, not may want to, you do want to focus as well on what's going on with Qs for your tech related stocks. A lot of what I trade is tech, Netflix, Meta, sorry, my head is just so clogged. Nvidia, right? Tesla tech? Yeah, it's still tech, right? Still tech, right? High tech car. All right. Perfect. We could look at a weekly chart on the S&P, and we still have a nice little gain, overall pullback. Matches this type of pullback. All right. So if we look at the ABC, right, in there, that pullback brought us down to the 764, and then a really nice bounce from there, right? So that pullback from our high to our low, close enough, 540 points, okay? So I don't have enough of a pullback yet to remeasure. I don't have another ABC to measure from here to here. I've got the B, but I don't have a C yet. I have no bounce point. So I have nothing to measure it off of yet. So the weekly chart is not giving me a whole lot other than, yeah, we've had a fairly strong market. Look at a monthly, same thing. We're killing it on a monthly. We've had some really nice moves, but overall, last 2 months, December, January, have not fared as well. So if we go back to a daily, right, play the market at hand. Analyze what you see on the chart, analyze what the VIX is doing, analyze your individual stock, and make a trading decision from there. What do you see as the next step, the next phase for your position, for your stock? All right. Okay. What do we got happening this week? So Inner Circle check-in is this evening. The quarterly is the 17th and 18th. Brandon is teaching those events, which is Friday and Saturday at 10 to 2. Mastermind group is the 14th. I will be teaching that. Monster Market Movers on the 21st. Oh, we're missing Andrew. We have Fibonacci Trading Mastery is Wednesday. Has to be added on here. So, but this Wednesday, folks, at oh goodness, let me check it because it's not on this. I think we said at 7. We did. We're doing that one at 7 o'clock on Wednesday. And the reason for that is this could be potentially a long training, and I don't want to break it into 2. And if we start at 8 and go past our 10, everybody's exhausted at that point by the time we get to 10:15, 10:30. So, and a lot of it just comes down to questions. But that one is coming up. We got no power hour on Monday, right? It's going to actually be the 21st, which is Tuesday. We should have changed that. Power hour, Covered Call Explorer, E-mini Think Tank are all on regular schedule. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that got changed. So is that so it was never, let me just see. Yeah, so the 22nd, it's a good catch, Trip. It's wrong here. So Lee, we need to Andrew, sorry. We need to make sure it's January 22nd. It was only wrong on what we call our speaker calendar, Trip. So my calendar had it as the 22nd, and it's in Zoom for the 22nd. So we just need to get it adjusted there, but good catch. Thank you for that. All right. Fibonacci Trading Mastery, guys. We're at the end, the tail end. This Wednesday will be the last training that wraps that up. I think it's over 20 hours that we've got in total there of training. You're going to see some emails come out on this training series. The only thing I have left for this is one more live, which will be in about 30 days. We're going to do a wrap-up session. So anybody that does get the Fibonacci Training Mastery Series, the annual or the lifetime series for this, you are eligible to come to that class as well, which it gives you, the whole idea behind it is go and look at the videos, watch the trainings, come back and ask all your questions, and we'll answer them right there. Right? I will answer them right there. All right. Let's see. All right, and Andrew just dropped a link in for it as well. So weekly trading topic, guys. How to trade in 2025. I'm actually going to pull up a notepad here and do how to trade in 2025. Right? So basically, bottom line is you need to have a plan. Right? What does that plan need to incorporate? There are some things that we're going to talk about in here now and again, you can take screenshots of this. You can, whatever you need to do on your end, screenshot it, come back to the video, half hour in or 25 minutes in, whatever it is, right? But what's incorporated in the plan, right? Well, you first need to define your risk profile. And, let me go and put your your risk profile, right? It's not mine. It's not the trades. It's your risk profile. What is that going to represent? Well, couple of things, right? You're going to need the dollars allowed per trade. And what is going to define that? The dollars allowed per trade, right? As an example, let's say you've got a $5,000 account. Then consider 3 to 5 equal dollar trades, right? And just FYI, for me, I do this every year. What I'm going through with you right now, it's my refresh every single year, right? And I do it at the end of December for myself, but we're not teaching at that time. I'm not teaching. I'm usually off. But there's a reason that you need to do this, and sooner rather than later, right? January 10th, right? And this one, it is January 10th only for 2025, right? Can somebody tell me the importance of this date? Does anybody know why January 10th is important? Right, Trip. Anybody else? So Trip's got it. Jennifer's got it. What did you mean? What does that mean, Jennifer? Sorry, I just saw that comment. So, excuse me. January 10th is National Quit Day this year. What does that mean? Second Friday of the year is when the average person in this country quits their New Year's resolution. So what it is, the average person quits their New Year's resolution. So if you haven't made your resolution, maybe that's good, you've gone past it, but realistically, it's about 2 weeks before someone stops their New Year's resolution. I am not a fan of the word New Year's resolution. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. Okay? It's November 8th. Oh, I can't wait till January 1st so I can make a resolution to do something differently. No, you make a November 8th resolution. Doesn't have to be on January 1st, right? You're just resolving to change, whatever it is. Change it when it happens. Don't wait for January 1st. So Brendan said 3 to 5 equal dollar trades with $5,000 account. What does that mean? So if you have $5,000 in an account, Jennifer, you're going to break that up into 3 to 5 trades. So it's real easy to do 5, right? 5 trades would mean you're going to put $1,000 into a trade. So if an option is $10, you do 1 contract, that's $1,000. If an option is $5, you do 2 contracts. If an option is $18, you do no contracts. It's too expensive. You're committing to not spending more than that, whatever the 3 to 5 equal trades. The lower number is always going to be the bigger. Whatever 5,000 divided by 3 was that 1,700, 1,600, whatever that number is. You're committing to not putting more than that much into the trade, right? So instead of breaking it down by the number of contracts is a great way to teach, right? 10 contracts, easy number to understand. To say you're going to go ahead and buy or you're going to buy $1,000 worth, and you got to look at the options and do the math. It's just a little more complicated to teach that one. 10 is an easy teach number because people can do it on their fingers or toes or both. Jennifer, I had a rough start, sick before New Year's Eve, just getting better the last couple of days. So I'm still working on things, and it's a constant process. You're right. I was sick the end of the year, felt great again, and back to being sick again. So but listen, I know what it was. The coldest day of the year, I'm outside probably the equivalent of 20 minutes in a long sleeve t-shirt, thin, socks and no shoes on my concrete in the backyard for about 20 minutes overall. I'm sure I know exactly what got me sick. Just that. But so all right. So Brenda's got the three to $5,000. She understands that. Okay. So figure out that, right? The next thing is the options stock / options pricing. You just committed to, I am going to put $1,000 into this trade, right? But you need to look at and build out a list. Build out a list of what you're willing to invest in as far as stocks and then options. So, so I'll show you here. I've got a Monster Market Movers big list. There's 300 symbols in there. What I would tell you to do is sort it by closing price. And then you'll see this starts at $80 a share. That's the lowest price stock in this list. And then the highest price stock is Costco at $936. Okay. But that's me for this one program for Power Out for Monster Market Movers. You, on the other hand, have to decide what's the price range of stocks you're willing to trade. But even more importantly than the stock is going to be what is the value of the option you are willing to accept risk for. So if, as our example, I'm going to put 100 to $300 stock. And options up to $12 per share. And again, I'm just making this up. This is not a definitive. I'm making this up right now. Okay. So what did that just say? Well, I'm going to define my list of, I want stocks in that $100 to $300 range, and I want the options to be more than $12, which means you now have to go over to an option chain and plug them all in. Unless you build a filter like this inside of your trading platform, TOS or TradeStation or whomever you're using, okay? Then you're going to go over there and you're going to look at the options at your trading platform. And you're going to pull up the options to see which stocks are actually going to work for me, okay? Next, once you got the stock and options price, right? And actually this, let's do this here. I'm going to skip down. Now you need to have an education plan. Right? And what's in the education plan? Right? Well, things like Power Hour. You're going to put down and commit to, you know what, maybe I'll even do it this way. Maybe I'll do it this way. Let's put this in front of it. So on the Wealth Builders website, there's a tab at the top called Trading Resources. When you scroll down, you see Time Allocation Worksheet. Download it. Spreadsheet. You're going to see it pop up over here for your downloads on Google. Okay. But let's look at the Time Allocation Worksheet, right? It's on the website. It's a free resource. There you go. Andrew just dropped it in, guys. So you can go right to the resource center there. Appreciate that. Right? So fill out the time allocation worksheet. Power hour, if it fits into your time allocation, you should be at. You should be in every single power hour. Right? You should be in every single trading coach's playbook. Right? They should be givens. right? So you've allocated your time, you know what you have available to you, right? Um, so now you need to look at time available for all education. What does that mean? So if you put your time allocation sheet together and you come up with you've got 8 hours for available to learn. Now you can go over and go to where Pop is and say, okay, there's an hour. Training Coaches Playbook, there's a second hour, right? There's going to be some resources that are available to you that are free, right? So as an example, you can have things on there that are Trade with Rob, right? Is another one. Maybe I shouldn't really indent that. Right? So you got Trade with Rob is another free resource. But what time do you have available for education? You need to put it in there. Guys, when I first started, excuse me, when I first started trading, computers were very minimal of use to us. Internet was 56K for anybody that's been around that long. It was terrible. And for me, the biggest challenge was work because I was working 12 to 16 hours a day. Lunchtime was never really lunchtime for me. It was an interruption time all the time because people knew where to find me in the lunchroom, which is where I'd be. I switched over and did lunch in my office with behind closed doors. Do not disturb on my door. So I was out. Do not bother me, right? Unless the building's on fire, don't call me. Get one of the supervisors, not me. But I put together with that 12 to 16 hours a day, I put together the equivalent of 3 to 4 hours a day that I could spend in the market. Now, don't get me wrong. How well did I do with that? Great with the education, horrible with my family. The whole reason for wanting to learn how to trade was to get back to seeing my family because I was working 12 to 16 hours a day and I was working 7 days a week. And I wanted out of that life. So I got to get out of that life. I went in deeper by putting more hours in above that work to learn how to do this. And that was part of my problem. I just don't know how to segregate, or not even the wrong word. I don't know how to plan, didn't know how to plan properly for family and fun. Just wasn't part of what I did. Just every minute, commit to work, right? Of some sort. So the faster I learn this, the faster I can get out of this job. And it worked well for me with that. But for the trading part, not for the family part. That was a struggle for a long time because of that. Right. So now that you've got this figured out, right? You can look at training programs, right? And what am I talking about here? Power option plays. Sorry, just like to keep them neat. Um, Covered call Explorer. Some of you may not know what POP is, so I'll just write it out. Power option plays. You got E-mini Think Tank. Patterns in a flash. And there are others, okay? But hold on, guys. But when you look at this, the idea is this. You've already looked and absorbed all of the free resources that are available. You've allocated for them. Okay. What is one of the biggest things that most people do not do is they do not seek out professional help for whatever it is. Right. How many people do you know do not show up at the doctor? Now that may be for a different reason. They really don't want to know what the answer is. Right. No, I'm not going. I'm not going to the doctor. I'm fine. I'm fine. My dad had a motto. If it's good for you, I'm not going to eat it. That was his motto. If it's good for you, I'm not going to eat it. Okay. Hence, at 80 years old, he was still smoking 4 packs a day. So he's passed already, actually. But so you've got all of the free resources available. You've already figured out all of those in, okay, of what you have time for. The one thing people don't do is they don't look to properly educate themselves. I see, I could be a personal trainer when it comes to the proper way to lift weights. I am that good at the right way to do things in a gym. And that's just my personality with anything that I ever take on, any venture I ever take on. Right? My form is perfect on every machine that I use at the gym. But there are people that you see there. Have any of you seen some of these crazy videos of people going to the gym and they say, this is what the gym looks like on January 1st? And you got, first off, they're packed, right? And then you got people doing these nutty exercises. So there's I see it in our own gym. There's this shoulder pull down. You sit down on, you stand up, you grab the bar above your head, you sit down, your knees go underneath these two foam balls, and you kind of lean back a little bit and you pull the bar down to your chest, right? And then you extend your arms fully up and you keep going back and forth. Well, there's a bench that you're sitting on. Well, it's a small bench, but it's a bench. And I'm watching a guy in our gym. He's standing, pulling the bar down as he's standing on the left side of the bench. And then as the bar goes up, he jumps up in the air and over the bench. And then he lands on the opposite side and he pulls it down to his chest. Now he goes back to the left and jumps there, back to the right and jumps there. Right? And I'm seeing all of these wacky people who know nothing about what they should be doing. They're either going to hurt themselves or this guy could have hurt somebody else with what he was doing. I was on the other side of the gym, and when I saw it, someone close to him stopped him and said, yeah, you really can't do it. Right? Yeah, Tom, I know, it's nuts. Right? So there are people in the gym, trainers, that could help these people, because they know what to do. Right? They know the proper steps, right, of what each of these individuals can do differently to get on a path, whether it is from a macronutrient standpoint, whether it is from even down to the micros could be, but down to what exercise to do, what days of the week. There's benefits to doing a full body workout, but there are much more benefits if you can isolate a muscle and hit certain muscles together. Push, pull, push one day, pull another day, legs another day. That's one way of doing it. Okay. Well, it's no different when it comes to trading. You've got all the free resources allocated for time. If you have the time available and the desire and you truly want to learn how to do this, then you need some help. So which one of the training programs can you use to help get you there? Okay. And that's great. And that could be something that you do on your own, right? Power Option Plays is a video. Cover Call Explorer is a video. Even Think Tank is a live training. Patterns in a Flash is just that. It's a flashcard training system, okay? But bottom line, asking that coach the right way to do the exercise is great, and they will gladly help you. Those trainers, they will gladly help you do it, right? But the biggest thing that they are good at is actually coaching you. Right. And I have hired on more than one occasion individual. And as I said, I am really good at understanding how the exercises work, what muscles to hit and so forth. Right. I just put an entire document together of every exercise to be done to hit the different heads of the bicep and how to get the brachiocelia, I don't know how to say it, underneath the bicep muscle, and which gives you that bigger height raise. I'm pretty good at that. But yet I still went and hired a coach. Why? Because they know a lot more than I do. They were trained in this. I may be missing something small that prevents me from getting to that next level where possible. So figure out where and how you fit coaching in there into Trading You, which is a mini mastermind, into our mastermind or our inner circle, higher level programs. But all of those designed, geared towards how to become a better trader. If you were here in the beginning today and you heard Tripp talk about his Hakanashi scalp, that is a trade developed by and in Inner Circle. And 3 days a week, there's a live trading room, and they're in that live trading room 3 days a week trading, right? And the Hakanashi scalp, Tripp, were you in the room today when you guys did those trades? The 2 scalps you took? Yes. Okay. So again, I'm not saying that you're ready for inner circle. I'm just pointing something out that there is a lot more. I love the comment of how much is 1 + 1, right? And the average person would tell you 2, right? For me, 1 and 1 is 11, right? What does that mean? Two people working together, someone's going to come up with a question, they're going to say it out loud. And you just heard yourself say it, right? And that's good. Somebody else heard you saying, goes, oh, wait, what about this? And then you go, oh, you're right. What about that? Oh, well, what about this? And then you go back and forth. It's having two people working together is the equivalent of 11, right? Because you're going to continue to ask questions and generate more insights from it. And it's no different here, right? So I evaluate myself, reevaluate myself every single year. So if we look, my risk, I have a preset number of trades based on not my account size, right? It's based on how much cash I'm willing to put in the market. So if you have, I'm going to make a number up. If you have a $100,000 account, you have a $100,000 account. Great. Are you putting the entire 100,000 in the market? Oh no, exactly. How much are you going to put? 50,000. Again, I'm just making math easy. Okay, 50,000. Now I can say, okay, with $50,000, if I had a 50K account, right, I'm going to look to do probably 8 to 10 EDTs, equal dollar trades. 8 to 10. So if I did 10 equal dollar trades, it puts me at $5,000. If I did 8 goes into 50, whatever that is. 8 times 7, 8 times 6, 60, 500, maybe 6,000 and change. All right. But I know then once I reassess how much I'm willing to put in the market at any given time, I can then figure out. So I've got, and that's my 50K, let's say, I can then figure out what my equal dollar trades will be. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Great. Now I get to my education plan. Yes, yes, yes. I do show up at Trading Coach's Playbook. Not every week. I just don't have the time. But I do show up at Trading Coach's Playbook. Right? I have other coaches that I work with that I learn from in the market, that I'm in their trainings that I'm part of, including ones that I'm in their training programs. Right? Most importantly is the coaching to me. To me, I've been in masterminds, goodness gracious, since a young man in my early 20s. I've been in different masterminds. I've spent more money than many people make, period, on what I've spent on masterminds. Right? There's a couple that I'm in now, trading ones, business ones. So I've got 2 business ones, 2 trading ones. To me, it's very important. It's there are things that I need to get better at. There are things that I need to stay on the cutting edge with. And that's what we do. Right? Me, Rob, Wealth Builders, my team they're part of these coaching programs. They're sent into trainings and so forth. Okay. So you've got a good plan laid out here, right? There you go, Trip. You can take my plan and just reuse it. He's a great minds and all of that. Yep, exactly. So was this helpful? Give me a 1 for yes, a 2 for no. And if it wasn't, that's okay. I am telling you the things that I see necessary personally for Rob to be successful. I can't tell you what Bill and Mary and Jim and Gene and Harry and Lou and whomever else is here. I can't tell you everything it takes for you to be successful. Not down to the finite. I can't. I can from a big picture. And this is the big picture. Anything that you want to be successful at in life, find someone that's doing it and duplicate their actions. How do you do that? Let them train you. Let them coach you on what to do. Okay? Excuse me. All right. Kevin said, everything you share is great knowledge and thought starters. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I appreciate that, Kevin. All right. So what stocks did you want to take a look at, folks? I've got a few minutes left. What stocks did you want to see? Drop them in. Let me go grab. PK, my mother-in-law came home yesterday. Um, she's okay. She's home. We'll see how that works. But she's home. Everything with Sparky is coming along. Thank you for asking. Someone just gave my wife a coffee mug with the backs of our two dogs. So my daughter's big Pit, this little Morky who's tiny, and then her. It's not a Pit. I forget what she has. Another big dog. Needs lots of activity. They have to walk it 2 days a week. I'm sorry, 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day. And Sparky, the little one, is the boss of all of them. And you had the backs of all three dogs. Sparky's in the middle. He's the tiny little Morky, and he has angel wings on his back. So, yeah, she's exactly PK. She's here with us a lot less to travel. Yeah, Bonnie. My puppy died. He was 15 years old. So actually, in my wife's arms, he passed. She knew. She saw him kind of waving outside, waddling outside when she put him down to go to the bathroom. And she picked him up and came inside, called me, and he passed in her arms. So if you go on Facebook, you'll see the page, the posts there. But and I even put a post up on the Wealth Builders Facebook about what it meant and what I went through and how trading was because of it and so forth. So, all right, let's go ahead and get my full list, all symbols. Sort by symbol. QQQ is the first one in there, which was Andres. So let's see. Oh, let me make this smaller. We do not need this that big. All right. So on the Qs, we've broken down through the 764. We're getting near where the 882 would be, but we're okay at this point. Yeah. So it's looking ugly right now. We don't really have a place to redraw the fibs yet, but I'm looking forward to it. That's for sure. Yeah. So do we need an 882 94 to 11 points? No, we don't need a fib in there. So, but that 500 point level acts as a fib. So right now we're in a bearish bias, not true bear, but we're bear. So retest the 505 and fail on that one, Andres, and that's what I'd be looking at for that. I wouldn't be doing anything to the upside on it. And if it broke the 500, I would not take the trade up to 500. I just don't do that. I don't take off 100 point levels. If I was a confluence, yes, but not as a primary. Hope that helps, Andreas. Bonnie's asking for MSTR. You're welcome, Andres. All right. So MSTR, let's pull this out a little bit. So they've had a little bit of troubles. I mean, they hit this great high here of 550 from 220, 225. So more than doubled in, from November till now. So it's just amazing what the move was. And even better if you go further back. Right? I mean, just crazy. Down here at $115, call it $100 up to $500. It's a 500% gain from August. It's nuts, the move they've made. All right, sorry guys, my throat's finally giving out here. So on MSTR, moving averages are tough right now. A couple of days up into the 344 level and a fail. If it moves right up, the 8 might be too far away. So I'd want the 8 to climb back up a little bit or break the 297 retest and drop. 20 to 95 is 75 points. We need an 882 in there. So let's go ahead and split that level in half. All right. And if we do fail off the 297, we're looking at 259 as the downside. So I like that a lot. Hope that helps, Bonnie. Brenda's asking for AMD. Let's get a better view. Ooh, ugly. Let's see. So we need to retest back up this 122 level and a fail back to 113 to our downside. So I wouldn't do anything with it until unless it just continues to fall, breaks the 113, retests and drops, and then 104. But I would much rather have the push to the 122 and fail. Bonnie said, kicking myself. I had 3 MSTR contracts called away a week after the election. Also, 3 contracts of Tesla called away the day after election. Yeah, it's tough. Election day trading is like trading on earnings. You know, just never know what's going to happen, especially this year. So AMD, I like it if we can get that retest. Who was the other one? SPY. Yeah, this 618, I mean, the 236 is kind of in a way at this point now. We've failed and broken away from this. I probably can get rid of this ABC at this point. Right? So let's see, 75 to 86 is 11. We don't need a Fibit there. So I'd love the retest of the 586 and a fail. That gives me everything I want. If it breaks the 575 retest and drops, we're looking at 568. So we still have an opportunity there, but it's going to take a little bit of work. All right? I hope that helps, Brenda. Bonnie also asked for TEM as in Mary. TEM. Huh, not familiar with them. Let's see. Newer stock, decent volume, average of 3.76. It moves $4 a day. $4 a day on a $30 stock. Can someone tell me if this is optional? I don't have TradeStation open right now, purposely. Let me see. So if we're looking at, and it won't matter, we violated. So we would have a fib here, no question, right? Possibly another one there or a newer one there. But once again, 40, 44. So that one really doesn't fit. So let's do it this way. Let's draw the fibs. All right. But now this drop has broken down through what would be this 882. So we're going to have to redraw. Check the 50 to the 618. Make sure there's at least $3. There's about $4 in there. So that works out extremely well. TM has weekly options on TOS. Excellent. Good. Medical AI. All right. So let's see. I'm going to write that symbol down for me. Thank you. Let's see. There we go. TM. So, let's go back over to moving averages. Okay. So right now, 32 to 41. It's 9. We need to split that level in half. So we're going to need a 118. Perfect. Okay. So scrunch down, scrunch key. How about here? 22 to 32 is 10. We need that one as well. So let's put negative 136. All right. I'd love to see the retest up to the 36.71 on the fail. If it does break the 32.40 retest and fail, you're looking at 27.40. So about $5 to the downside, which is not bad at all. Right? I love the premiums. Not premium, sorry, the moves, $4 movement every day on a $40 stock is great. Thank you for that, Bonnie. Let's see what else I'm missing here. Yeah, I'm taking wellness supplements and so it's 6 capsules, 6 capsules 4 times a day and I'm taking liquid zinc, 2 dropperfuls every 3 hours. So there's my medical protocol for my colds. Supposedly CRNC has partnered up with AMD on self-driving auto chips. My medical laser rep gives me these tips on, and this is TEM. Okay, good. Yeah, TEM is sweet like Roku was. Exactly, PK. That's the first thing I thought of was Roku. How Roku used to trade this way. So, all right, everyone. I think I got all the questions. Hey, sorry about the little talking through my nose type thing, but I'm talking through my nose. So it's just the cold I'm dealing with. So everybody have a great rest of your day. God bless. There are a lot of links that Andrew dropped in the chat today. So I'm going to leave the room open for a couple of minutes, grab them, and click on them and take advantage of all that stuff. So everybody, I will see you at our next update. Take care, folks. See you soon. Bye for now.